As a constitutional law attorney, former senior legal advisor and personal counsel to President Donald J. Trump, Jenna Ellis believes in the rule of law and the importance of integrity in our elections. And she's ready to tackle the big cultural and legal issues facing America. This is the Jenna Ellis Show. Here is your host, Jenna Ellis.
Well, another day, another crazy headline. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the Jenna Ellis Show. I'm Jenna Ellis, and breaking late yesterday, the headline was, breaking, Trump indictment set for Wednesday will be told to surrender. So according to trendingpoliticsnews.com, former President Donald Trump will likely be indicted this Wednesday. Quote, the former president, who is currently in Florida, is expected to be formally charged today, after which the Manhattan District Attorney's Office will reach out to Trump and his Secret Service detail to make arrangements for his surrender, according to the Insider. And that was according to the Daily Mail. And so we are awaiting that indictment to potentially be handed down. And as of this recording, that has not yet happened. Of course, if and when that does happen, likely President Trump will be able to arrange through his attorneys to go up to Manhattan and be arraigned there on this indictment. I had an opportunity as well this morning to speak to Liz Harrington, who is, of course, President Trump's spokesperson, has been a dear friend of mine for years. And so I want to play that recording for you here because that interview, I think, was incredibly important, and you're not going to want to miss what Liz Harrington has to say. Legacy Precious Metals is the company that I trust to give you good and patient counsel for investing in your retirement. The Biden administration has caused a financial crisis, and they have no clue how to fix it. Oil prices have skyrocketed, and when oil prices go up, not only do your expenses go up, but the cost of transportation and shipping spikes, leading the prices of goods to rise. And we are already seeing record inflation. That's the last thing that we need. Our economy is in trouble, and you need to take steps to protect yourself. If all your money is tied up in stocks, bonds, and traditional markets, you may be vulnerable. So gold is one of the very best ways to protect your retirement. No matter what happens, you own your own gold. It's real, it's physical, and it's always been valuable since the dawn of time. Call Legacy Precious Metals today at 866-528-1903 or visit them online at legacypminvestments.com. That's legacypminvestments.com, where you can download the free investor's guide. You can also go to my Facebook page, Jenna Ellis. I am a public figure on Facebook, and I just posted yesterday a really great interview with the president of Legacy Precious Metals, who is discussing why you need to start your retirement account even if you're in your 20s or 30s. There is always a great time to protect your retirement and invest, just like you want to protect your health over the long term. So go to Legacy Precious Metals at legacypminvestments.com or call 866-528-1903. We are still on indictment watch across the country. And of course, this is the biggest story in America because weaponizing government is never, ever okay. And regardless of whether you are a Democrat, you're a Republican, you are something in between, you are a Trump fan, love him or hate him, you voted for Hillary Clinton. I mean, who knows? Welcome to all of, the haters who also join the show as well. It doesn't matter what your political perspective is. We have due process in this country. We have constitutional protections in this country. And weaponizing government against a political opponent to try to interfere with an election is never appropriate in the United States of America. We are turning into a banana republic. And so no one knows that more personally and deeply than President Trump's spokesperson, my friend Liz Harrington, and she joins me this morning to talk about this. So Liz, how are things going in Trump world and with President Trump as he's preparing for this likely indictment today?
Hey, well, good morning, Jenna. President Trump, he's doing fine. He's doing great. But what he's really concerned about is the country, because we know exactly what this means, which you just laid out. If they go forward with this, it looks like they will, on totally sham charges and illegitimate investigation, you're really crossing a Rubicon this country's never crossed. It will fundamentally change it. And we will become a third world nation. And if you don't have the rule of law, you have nothing. And this is what this nation was founded upon, our God-given rights and equal justice under the law. And if you don't have that, which we've seen it, not just in this case, even though they will look like they're crossing a Rubicon that they've never crossed before, but you've seen it for 7 years now. And they've never been able to get to this point, and they shouldn't be able to get to this point now because they've never had anything on President Trump. They've weaponized every different law enforcement agency against him throughout his first term. And it's not just now in New York City. It's in Georgia, as you're very familiar with. It's in D.C. They're stacking the deck. They're really perverting the grand jury system. They're stuffing, radical leftists on these grand juries, and they're using, Marxist prosecutors and Marxist judges to go after and harass President Trump and his campaign. And all of that put together is really an illegal in-kind contribution to the Democrats and the Uniparty, because that's what this is all about. Make no mistake. It's not just going after a president. It's going after their number one political opponent. That is what will make us a banana republic if they do this. And it will be so bad for our country.
I'm talking to Liz Harrington, who's President Trump's spokesperson, and the Soros DAs are that's totally their goal, is to weaponize the justice system and to create a banana republic. And for somebody like Alvin Bragg and the Manhattan DA's office that isn't even prosecuting legitimate crime, but then they're spending all of the state resources, including New York's Attorney General Letitia James, who ran on the fact that she wanted to get Trump. And then you're right, Liz, with all of the other prosecutions and manipulations across the country, it's kind of coalescing that a lot of these things are now coming to the fore as President Trump is going into the primary season. And so how is the campaign preparing for this? Because a lot of us, myself included, are concerned that this is more of a funding issue, because if he has to, just like the Mueller investigation, try to drain the war chest, if he's now having to spend all of this time and effort and money on a defense, can the campaign actually move forward in, or is that going to effectively excise him regardless of whether he's fighting anyway?
Well, that's definitely part of their goal, right? I mean, it's to get propaganda, to try to beat him up more in the media, and it's to drain our campaign of resources. But, really, it's not much new that he personally has had to deal with since he came down the escalator. I mean, he's been dealing with false attacks, smears, legal battles, ever since. And so the American people have really galvanized behind him. His support is unlike anything we've seen before. And so we're not really worried. I mean, God will take care of the campaign. We're not worried about that. But it is certainly one of their goals. And that's why I said, this is why it's so corrupt. They're accusing him of something that's not even a crime, that he's innocent of anyway. But they're misconstruing the law, perverting the law to try to get something to make it a campaign finance violation when it clearly isn't. And yet here they're using the full weight of the government at every level, our taxpayer dollars, by the way, to go after a political campaign. And it's clearly the goal. That's what they're doing. And so everything is upside down. You mentioned these Soros prosecutors. It really is the spirit of lawlessness. They want to criminalize innocent people, go after their political opponents. And here they are taking a non-crime that President Trump is completely innocent of, had nothing. I mean, really, if you want to look at it, you would look at it the other way. It was extortion, right, against him. And Michael Avenatti's been already found guilty of extortion in a different case. But they're taking something that's not a crime as a misdemeanor and try to bumping it up to a felony when literally they're letting felons, they're pushing their charges down to misdemeanors, letting criminals back on the streets to commit more crime. It's a terrible thing for our country. And that's what happens when you have political actors in there perverting the justice system against their political opponents. It turns us into a third world nation.
It really does. So what happens next when this indictment is now, reports are saying, likely coming out today, and President Trump's attorneys have said that he will cooperate and go up to Manhattan. Can you confirm that that would be the next step, that he's not looking to stay in Florida and force an extradition, or what are the next steps that he's contemplating?
That's as good of what I know, the information I have. I haven't spoken directly about every, step of what he's planning to do, but my understanding is that is what's going to happen if they indeed do go down this road. But I can tell you nothing really changes as far as his commitment to the country and to the campaign. We're still planning a huge rally in Waco, Texas, this weekend, which I think is going to be just absolutely enormous. And we're encouraging anybody in the Texas area, family, friends down there, show your support, because this is such a critical time in our country. We have to show these corrupt powers that there's more of us, that they are not winning, that this is not the country that we want America to be. So it's going to be really important in Waco, Texas this weekend. And President Trump, he's going to keep fighting, and that's what we know for certain. No matter what they throw his way, he's always going to fight for the American people.
Yeah, he has always been the man in the arena, and that is one of the things that you and I have talked about so much, that we respect so much about him. And so speaking of fighting for the American people, having these radical Democrat Marxist leftists as we know that that's the enemy of American values, the justice system. What about this fight between Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis? Because a lot of people are saying that, why is he going out and attacking Ron DeSantis when he should be kind of aiming his fire at the radical left instead of, speaking of false attacks, going on Truth Social and, posting some of these things that are, and the names and all that, which is, we could say, typical Trump. But is that, do you think, undermining the perception that he's fighting for the country instead of just fighting for his own campaign?
Well, President Trump, he's a straight shooter, and he always has been, and he doesn't like political games. And frankly, that's what the governor of Florida has been doing. I mean, he's been pretending, he's not running, but he's got a Murdoch-funded book tour. He's going to all the early states. It's quite obvious to everyone that he is. And, quite frankly, he wouldn't be governor without President Trump's endorsement when he was, at 3%. So President Trump, he looks at what's going on, and he doesn't like nonsense, and he just tells it like it is. So all the things that he said about DeSantis, I mean, they're going to be proven to be true. He knows what he's talking about. And also, DeSantis can have other people, like an entire news network, Fox News, trying to undermine President Trump's campaign and not do it himself. But then when literally take President Trump out of it, take DeSantis out of it, take Alvin Bragg out of it, the fact that they are trying to use the whole legal system and turn us into a banana republic and arrest the number one political opponent because they know they can't beat him fair and square unless they do massive cheating at the ballot box again, like they did in 2020. The fact that that's going on, and then Ron DeSantis waits to comment on it and then says it's not a real issue and he's not going to do anything to, support his resident of Florida. He's going to stay out of it, but also to take a cheap shot at really the victim of all this. And it's not about President Trump, who's been falsely accused. It's about all of us. It's about, if they'll do this to him, they'll do it to all of us. And they already have started that. We've seen the DOJ going after Christians and pro-life activists. We've seen them with the January 6th defendants, the total just abandonment of due process. I mean, that's what this is really about. And he failed in that answer. He failed in leadership, and he took a cheap shot when I think it just exposed what he's really all about. And President Trump, he's exposed what he's always been about, and it's America first. It's fighting for the country, and it's saving the country. There's no other agenda, and it clearly shows that Ron DeSantis has other agendas in mind.
So in just the last few minutes I have with you, Liz Harrington, and President Trump's spokesperson, and I had a little bit different take on Ron DeSantis's comments, because he did push back against the Soros prosecutor. He did say all of that, but he did take that shot against President Trump. And a lot of people are suggesting that it would have been wiser to leave that out of it. But in just the last few minutes, what do you anticipate then to be the next steps in terms of the country? Because I think we are all looking at this as just an insane place that we have come to in this country that has been further toward a banana republic, as you have said. And so what should be the American people's response to this in terms of supporting true justice, supporting the genuine American values? And, you and I are both Christians. And so as Christians, how should we view this? And of course, be praying for our country. But just closing thoughts in the last about 30 seconds we have.
Absolutely. And President Trump joined a prayer call with pastors the other night, and they asked him, what can we do to pray for you? And he said, just pray for the country. That's all. I think that's the most important thing you can do. And he's absolutely right about that. And he's called for people to protest, and we do that peaceably always. Be very discerning. Bad actors are going to try to stoke violence. We know what they're about. What we should do is congregate together in prayer. I think that's the most important thing we can do. Do not be afraid, but also just speak out anytime you get a chance to, the local level, at any opportunity, and say, this is not America. This is not what we are about, and we have to restore our just God-ordained Constitution if we're going to survive as a nation. And I think the American people know that. They're going to unite and stand together. So what's next? I think the country is going to come together like never before. People see what's happening. They do not like it. And we have to realize that we do need to come together and stand against this, no matter what your party is or affiliation, and unite and make sure that we save America. And by the grace of God, we will.
Well, Liz Harrington, thank you so much for your time this morning. We are praying for you, for President Trump, and for our country. So really, really appreciate your time today.
Galatians 6:10 says, "Therefore, as we have opportunity, let us do good to all people, especially to those who belong to the family of believers." In Nigeria, there are 7 Christians being killed per day because of their faith in Jesus. Thousands are being driven from their homes on a regular basis. Some people like to talk about the problem, but there are those that do something to solve the problem. So I want to tell you about Equipping the Persecuted. This is a ministry that is actually helping persecuted Christians in Nigeria. Equipping the Persecuted is a boots-on-the-ground mission. They respond to terror attacks within 48 hours, bringing food, medicine, and relief materials. I can't believe all the amazing things Equipping the Persecuted is doing. They have an orphanage, support over 140 widows monthly, and they train and equip village security teams. I have genuinely never seen a mission like this. So I want to encourage all of you to support Equipping the Persecuted by donating $20 a month or more. Become a partner with Equipping the Persecuted to save lives. Visit equippingthepersecuted.org to donate today. Again, please visit equippingthepersecuted.org and become a partner in this amazing ministry. Legacy Precious Metals is the company that I trust to give you good and patient counsel for investing in your retirement. The Biden administration has caused a financial crisis, and they have no clue how to fix it. Oil prices have skyrocketed, and when oil prices go up, not only do your expenses go up, but the cost of transportation and shipping spikes, leading the prices of goods to rise. And we are already seeing record inflation. That's the last thing that we need. Our economy is in trouble, and you need to take steps to protect yourself. If all your money is tied up in stocks, bonds, and traditional markets, you may be vulnerable. So gold is one of the very best ways to protect your retirement. No matter what happens, you own your own gold. It's real, it's physical, and it's always been valuable since the dawn of time. Call Legacy Precious Metals today at 866-528-1903 or visit them online at legacypminvestments.com. legacypminvestments.com. That's legacypminvestments.com, where you can download the free investor's guide. You can also go to my Facebook page, Jenna Ellis. I am a public figure on Facebook. You need to start your retirement account even if you're in your 20s or 30s. There is always a great time to protect your retirement and invest, just like you want to protect your health over the long term. So go to Legacy Precious Metals at legacypminvestments.com or call 866-528-1903.
Have you ever picked up a towel set because it felt so soft in the store, but then when you leave and you go to use it, it's not really that absorbent? It's basically a towel that is leaving you out to dry. That's why MyPillow has developed the MyPillow towels that actually work. I know, it's totally mind-blowing. Towels that actually dry you. Their 6-piece towel set includes 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. They come in a variety of colors. I have the sage green and the white. I love them. And right now you can receive a 6-piece set for only $39.98 with promo code Jenna. That's JENNA. So go to MyPillow.com right now and click on the radio listeners special. MyPillow products come with a 10-year warranty and have a 60-day money-back guarantee. So to receive this amazing offer on the 6-piece towel set of MyPillow towels, just go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special, and enter promo code Jenna, that's JENNA, or call 1-800-564-8475. That's MyPillow.com, promo code Jenna.